Hello again folks, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for subscribing and helping my channel go whichever direction it's going, which is up. Anyway, in this video I'm diving headfirst into the latest episode of Britain's favourite soap opera, The Persecution of Tommy Robinson, and this time it's got all the makings of a blockbuster: CCTV footage, a dodgy narrative and the Met Police playing their usual role as the keystone cops of political correctness. So here's the story. Tommy Robinson, the man who's apparently public enemy number one for daring to open his mouth about things we're all supposed to pretend don't exist, was involved in an incident at St Pancras station in London. A man ended up on the floor, allegedly with serious injuries, and Tommy's now been arrested and since been released on bail on suspicion of grievous bodily harm, or GBH. Shocking, I know. Incidentally, his bail has to be answered on the 8th of September, which is a few days before the big, massive rally in London on the 13th, so make of that what you will. A far-right thug causing trouble again, right? Well, hold your horses, because Tommy's claiming self-defence and he's calling on the Met Police to release the CCTV footage of the whole thing. You know, that magical invention called evidence that might just show what's actually happened. Now, you'd think in a country that loves to bang on about transparency and justice, the police would be tripping over themselves to release that footage. I mean, St Pancras is practically wallpapered with cameras. There's over, 450 of them, apparently, watching your every move like Big Brother with a hangover. Surely they've got the whole thing on tape, clear as day, so what's the hold-up? Why not just pop it online and let the public see it for themselves? Unless, of course, the footage might show something that doesn't fit the narrative. Funny that. Now, Tommy says he was minding his own business and he claims this other dude just came at him and he acted in self-defence. Now, I'm not saying Tommy's an angel. He's got a rap sheet longer than a politician's expense claim, and he's not exactly known for backing down from a scrap, is he? But here's the thing. If the CCTV backs up his story, why are the Met sitting on it like it's the last chocolate in the box? And if it doesn't, why not release it and nail him to the wall? Either way, the public deserves to know. But no, instead we got the usual dance. The police issue vague statements about a 42-year-old man from Bedfordshire, like they're describing a missing cat. Meanwhile, Tommy's been hauled off to custody after they nabbed him at Luton Airport, fresh off a flight from Faro. Like I said, he's since been released on bail. And let's not forget, he fled the country to Tenerife right after the incident, which doesn't exactly scream innocent bystander, but it also doesn't mean he's guilty of anything more than wanting a cheap holiday. The point is, there's a story here, and the one thing that could clear it up is that CCTV footage, so where the hell is it? Let me take a wild guess. Maybe the Met's too busy policing tweets or arresting people for misgendering their goldfish to bother with actual evidence, or maybe, just maybe, they're worried that releasing the footage might show Tommy in a less than demonic light, and that would upset the apple cart of the establishment's favourite villain. Because let's be honest folks, Tommy Robinson isn't just a man, he's a symbol. To some, he's a working class hero standing up to a system that sold out the country. To others, he's a far-right bogeyman who makes their progressive heads explode. But whichever side you're on, you should want the truth, not the script written by some bureaucrats with an agenda. And here's where it gets juicy. There's chatter on X. Yes, I've been scrolling through the digital swamp yet again, where people are saying the authorities might lose or delete the footage. Sounds paranoid, doesn't it? But when you've got a police force that seems more interested in protecting feelings than finding facts, you start to wonder. One user even said, and I quote, "We live under a sick, nasty dictatorship in the UK today," end quote. Over the top? Maybe, but when the state's got a track record of picking and choosing which laws to enforce based on who's shouting the loudest, you can see why people get twitchy. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Tommy's not exactly everyone's cup of tea, is he? He's been called the best known far-right extremist in Britain by the likes of Hope Not Hate, of all people, which is basically a fan club for anyone who thinks free speech is a hate crime. He's done time for everything from mortgage fraud to contempt of court, and he's not shy about stirring the pot. But does that mean he's automatically guilty every time something kicks off? Of course not. If the CCTV shows him throwing the first punch unprovoked, fine, lock him up and throw away the key. But if it shows him defending himself against some nutter who came at him Then what? Are we still allowed to talk about that, or is it off to the gulag for wrongthink? The Met's got a choice here. They can release the footage and let the chips fall where they may, or they can keep it under wraps and fuel every conspiracy theory from here to Timbuktu. My money's on the latter, because nothing says trust us like a police force that treats evidence like it's a state secret. And while they're at it, maybe they'll tell us why they're so keen to throw the book at Tommy while turning a blind eye to other, shall we say, less scrutinised problems in London. But that's a rant for another day. So here's my message to the Met Police if they're watching. In fact, you can bet good money they're watching. Release the bloody footage. Stop playing games. Stop hiding the press releases. And stop treating the public like idiots. If Tommy Robinson's the villain you say he is, then prove it. If he's not, then maybe it's time to admit the world's a bit more complicated than your diversity training manual makes out. Either way, the truth isn't your property, it's ours. And to you lot watching, if you care about living in a country where facts still matter, maybe it's time to ask why the people in charge are so allergic to showing us the evidence, because if they can bury the truth about one man, they can bury it about any of us. Anyway, there we go. I'm Paz49, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I'm off to have a drink and wonder where Britain stopped being a place where justice was done in the open. I'll catch you at the next one. Roger Trout.